Everybody, if anyone's watching, I'm just working on some Iron Man upgrades. Let me actually show you the work instead of me. Let me know if everyone can hear me. If you guys join the chat, let me know if you can hear me while I'm doing this. I've got a external mic hooked up, so just let me know that you can hear me. I'm going to try to watch the chat while I do this. Because I wanted just to hang out a little bit. It's been a while since I've done a live stream, but I don't know how long I'll be live. We're just going to give it a shot while I'm putting this together. I'm upgrading the new arc reactor here. So I've printed this one out of carbon fiber nylon instead of the carbon fiber PLA of the old one. And that was just because the old one was getting too hot. So let me know if everybody can hear me. If anyone's in the chat, let me know. Anybody hearing me? See about 5 people here. Let me know if you can hear me. Let me see, do I have the chat up? There's the chat. Welcome to the live chat. All right, so I've got a thumbs up. Can anyone else hear me? Just making sure. Don't know who's watching. Got 6 people who joined me as I'm working on this. Again, just working on upgrading my arc reactor. Let me see. This is the first time I've tried to ever go live from my cell phone. So this is a new thing, and again, I don't know if the sound is working or not. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Let me know. No audio? Yes, audio. Be great if they gave me some audio levels. Can anyone hear me now? If you couldn't hear me before, can you hear me now? And this is just a test. I just wanted to see how this went. Anyone in the chat? Just added my antenna there. Those are my Wi-Fi antennas. I need to go ahead and get my... There we go. Let me know if anyone's hanging out. This is kind of a test. I haven't gone live from my phone before. Wanted to see how well it worked. So let me know if you're out there. Chat with me. Say hi. Man, these new connectors on these camera connectors just suck. They're very, very small and they're very tight and they're hard to get in here. It's one of the reasons I really like to use the other ones. Everybody hear me all right? Let me know. I was using a different microphone, but I've switched, so let me know if it's working. Again, first time going live from my cell phone as opposed to like using a full computer setup, and I just really wanted to see how well it worked. Know if those are in there all the way. Looks like it. Let me see. Do I have a chat? Anyone in the chat? Alright, just let me know. I'm not getting any chat messages, so I don't know if anyone is out there or not. I'm showing people watching. That's not what I'm seeing. I feel like this one's still in further than the other one. Well, maybe if you can hear me, if you don't feel like chatting, at least give me a like on the video. Let me know that you're seeing this. Alright, so that's on there. I've got the microphone. I've got the 2 Wi-Fi antennas installed. I've now got the cables for my yeah, those are for my cameras. So, got 2 more, or actually like 4 more posts to install here if I do them all. technically only need the outside one, so I may not do them all. I'm going to need to enlarge these holes a little bit. I've got this little portable drill that I use for things like this that's fantastic for drilling into 3D prints. And you just need to like make a small hole slightly bigger. I'm installing posts in here. You see that usually I actually include the post as part of the print, but that can present problems, and so this time I actually just went ahead and I just put holes, and then I used brass posts. Again, if anyone's here, if you can hear me, again, using my phone for the first time for this, if you can hear me, please. Oh, audio is good. Thank you so much. I wish my chat would stay up. Again, trying to use my my phone for this live stream. We'll see how it does. Thanks for letting me know. Problem with this thing is it doesn't have a very good chuck. And so quite often I just can't get the bits chucked down tight enough to not spin when they hit a little resistance. So I end up being just annoyed with the drill. The drill has plenty of power, but if you can't get the bit in there enough, it doesn't matter. Looks like I got it in there this time. Gotta kind of use a tool to tighten it. There we go. Now I've got to get those 4 new posts installed there. Grab. These are 2.5mm posts. I'm a bit late. What's happening? Hey Tommy, how you doing? I'm actually working on upgrading my arc reactor. This is my old one over here. This is with the Jetson NX, Jetson Xavier NX. This new one's going to have my Orin NX in it. This is the one I'm preparing for DragonCon. I printed this one out of carbon fiber nylon. This one was just carbon fiber PLA. I did it for heat resistance and for strength. I didn't really want to completely dismantle this one, so I'd have a backup. And so this is the new one that I'm installing this old board into. But DragonCon's next weekend, so I'm down to the wire. Been working on my upgrades to my heads-up display, so I've actually implemented a pretty full-featured AI, or large language model. So it has local command processing, and it also has a connection to ChatGPT for AI questions. So there's a lot going on now in the helmet. Pretty happy with it though. These have a little bit of protruding screws. I need to get those off. I have to keep doing weird stuff to see chat. Hello, Coffee to Clutch. Good to see you. Working on something a little different this time. It's not Iron Man. Excuse me. It's not 3D printing. It's Iron Man. But this is obviously a 3D print. There we go. Cutting off the screws. They were a little pokey there. Did you use OpenAI API for the language model or something else? So my AI work is actually a mix. So I wanted all of the commands and everything for the helmet and for the suit to be locally processed. So I built a command processing model that runs locally, that does all the command processing. And then I have trying to get my right height post here. Then I have a connection to OpenAPI, the OpenAI API for for actual AI questions and things like that. So it's a two-tiered model. It's local plus remote. I actually did get a large language model running on the device itself so that I wouldn't have to rely on OpenAI, but unfortunately it was a little sluggish still, and I didn't have a lot of time to debug it, so I just fell back to OpenAI because it's fast. I'm using the 3.5 turbo model, and it was fast and I was happy with it. I just went with that for now. It seemed like just a much safer choice given a lack of time, and then it'll give me more time in the future to actually debug the local large language model that I'm going to tweak. I'd also like to set one up here at home, and then I could use that one as well. So it's a mix of both. It actually works really well. I got a little tweaking to do to my voice recognition. The voice recognition actually works fantastic, but of course I've built in some ability for it to detect when you're talking and when you're not talking. That needs a little tweaking, but I actually have an idea how to fix that. It's not bad, it can be better. So I'll be sharing a lot more on that in the future. I may even do another live stream where I show off Friday a little bit. But anyway, let's get this installed. So my plan for this live stream, like I said, I've never done a live stream on my phone before. Thought I'd give it a shot, just impromptu live stream while I'm sitting here in the garage by myself. And then, after I get that installed, that'll be it for this live stream, and maybe I'll jump back on later with Friday, and we can have a chat. So right here, this is what I use to connect the ports on the board, the camera ports on the board. What voice recognition library did you use? Let me see, sorry. Let me see if it'll, there it is. What voice recognition library did you use? I tried an offline Python model, but it wasn't that great. So I'll cover all that in my next live stream. I don't have a list of all the libraries I used. It's quite a list, but it's not Python. Everything I did was C, C++. That's my jam. That's my game is C, C++. So I didn't do anything with Python. So I'll have to show you some of those later. There'll be obviously a dedicated video on it, probably several dedicated videos on it. But as of right now, it is, I can tell you, it wasn't a Python library. Python libraries are not where I was going with that. So again, this is how I connect the cameras on the board, the camera headers on the board, to the remote cameras in the helmet. It converts the signal. It actually doesn't do anything to the signal. It just uses an HDMI cable as a transport medium to take a CSI camera from the board to the helmet. It works really, really well. So that's what I'm going to put on right here. Now, I do like these 2.5mm posts instead of 2mm posts, which I actually don't have on me. So I actually need to drill these holes out a little bit. There's nothing around it except ground plane, so it's not really a big deal. But I do have to drill them out just a little bit in order to get it to work. It's a bit of a challenge. In fact, I may need my hand drill. I can use the hand drill if I have to, but I'm going to try to use my electric one here. It usually does a pretty clean job. Just have to... There you go. Again, most people don't recommend drilling out your PCBs, but we're only going just slightly larger, and I'm being very careful about how I do it. You may end up with a little resistance. You just back up, don't force it, and then you can just keep going. I just have to make it a little bit bigger to hold these 2.5mm screws. I'm just doing it on the outside ones for now. There There you go. There you go. See, nothing to it. Just made those holes slightly bigger. You probably can't even tell the difference, but these outside holes just slightly different than the slightly bit bigger than the inside holes. I don't actually need these for mounting because the board has been unsnapped, and I just use them together like this right here. But I like to get all this lined up so that I make sure that when it's time to put it in here, it's ready to go. If you see me getting close to the phone, it's just because. Hey Wexter, good to see you. Thanks for jumping in. I appreciate it, even if you can't stay. Thank you very much. Been trying to get a voice AI for my room working good, but keep running into problems with practically, well, everything. Well, just keep in mind, so I'll talk a little bit about my voice model. So my voice model is actually separate from the helmet. It runs as a separate process on the machine. So it actually doesn't require the helmet software to run the Friday software, which means that I can release the Friday software separately and people could actually run it locally on their own machine. And I'll be releasing a whole lot of instructions and details on how to set that up in the future. So if you've been waiting on one, I hope that mine might fit the bill for you. So need to get these headers installed for the Wi-Fi again. But I do plan on open sourcing everything I do, and so if you have any questions or want to see how I did anything, it will all be available. Again, no Python, it's all C, C++. You can compile it on a Linux machine. I haven't tried to run it on a Raspberry Pi yet, so I'm not exactly sure how the performance will be, but we'll find out when I get there. I hate these little connectors. They're not awful, but they're kind of a pain to get these Wi-Fi connectors back on here for the antenna. There we go, that one's on. And the real trick, of course, is getting them back in place without them popping back off. You can get them on here once, but that doesn't mean that they'll stay. They're a bit finicky. But you have to have the antenna, otherwise the Wi-Fi doesn't work worth a crap. I know this is like watching paint dry, me trying to get these connectors on here, but oh well, I gotta get them on. So now I just gotta hold them on. Yeah, see, as soon as you move this around too much, they just want to pop right back off. One of those pain in the butt things that actually may have done that wrong anyway, so. Doesn't matter which Wi-Fi goes to which one, but you have to have them both on there. So let's see if I can get this popped over without, frack. One of them's staying on there pretty good, the other one is not. So, see if I can figure this out. Maybe I put them on the wrong ones. Let me move them around a little bit. I'm gonna move this to here. That to pop on. That popped on? I guess that's popped on. Sometimes they don't snap as much as you'd want them to. That one popped on. Let's see if I can get these. Okay, that one is still on there. Make sure they're both still on there. Once they're on here and I get this thing, I don't ever have to worry about them popping off again because everything's pretty well situated in this holder. Alright, do that. So I think we're okay now. Alright, so let's get this installed. Hey everybody, appreciate you hanging out with me. I know it's an impromptu chat. What do we got? Let's see, thanks. I've always wanted saying that this is lower subscription channels. See, my chat does not, I am not loving the way that this mobile one works. Thank you very much, Tommy. I appreciate it. Hey, David Wilson, one of my favorite online peoples. It's good to hear. It's good to see you, Dave. Thanks for popping in. Working on a new arc reactor this afternoon. So I'm trying to get this all installed on here. These screws may be actually too long. That's annoying. So it looks like that they included screws that are actually too long to go from both ends, and I may actually need to get some shorter 2.5s. I actually do have some. Pretty sure. Yeah, I've got some 2.5s here that should be shorter. And they're nice and black. So let's just go with these shorter 2.5s. And we'll do that. Let's see. I need a really small. Is that it? Yeah. So let's go with these shorter 2.5s. Because I was bottoming out those other ones. Okay, that's a lot better. Alright. And that'll center them real nice because these are countersunk 2.5s that I've got here. I think they'll work well for what I'm using them for. Like I said, I'm going to keep this stream going until I get this installed. It was just an impromptu test to see how this streaming from my phone impromptu would be. I tried to do it on Instagram, and Instagram is like, every time I've gone live on Instagram, it's kind of a graveyard. It's annoying. So I brought it to YouTube, where I have a lot more subscribers than I do on Instagram. The followers on Instagram are a lot less than what I've got here on YouTube. So I appreciate anyone dropping in to say hi. And please do say hi. If you're watching, say hi to me in the chat. Let me know you're out there. Do my best to say hi to everyone that says hi in the chat. As I've mentioned, I'm doing this on my phone, so if I don't see your chat immediately, it's because my phone is not popping them up the way it should. I'm actually having to manually go in there and bring up the chat. Oh, crap. Okay. So what I just noticed here is it looks like I have the Wi-Fi cable stuck under that post. So I've got to back these out because I now have a stuck Wi-Fi cable. That is annoying. And there's not a very easy way to get it out from underneath there. In fact, I may have to pull the whole board up to get it out from underneath there. That sucks. Sorry. Just part of it. Okay, Google, next. Alright, so I've got to get this Wi-Fi cable out from underneath that screw post. I think that's better. Make sure my Wi-Fi cables are still both in there good. They have a tendency to want to pop out. Okay, I think that's good. Don't want to crush it in there for sure. That looks good. Okay. Who's on? Say hi. Let me know you're here. Hey, Josh. Good to see you, man. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming in. It's good to see you. Anyway, installing the new Jetson Orin NX into this new arc reactor. New arc reactor is printed out of carbon fiber PLA. What's 3D printers? I'm never going to read this fast enough because it won't keep it up on the screen. What 3 printers do you use? I've been thinking about getting the Artillery Sidewinder X2 as my first. You heard about it? If yes, what are your thoughts on it? I know a lot of people that really like their Sidewinders. I have, what's the one? A Sidewinder Hornet, I think was the one that I have. And it was a great little printer. I have no complaints at all about the Sidewinder Hornet. I don't have an X2 specifically. Which printers am I running these days? I have the Flsun V400 is kind of the one I've been playing with the most. I absolutely love that machine. It's a good size, and it is a very good, it's very fast. Love it. Haven't had any problems with it at all, other than print settings that I've had to adjust. And what else? Love my, I've got a small form factor printer from Lurge, the Lurge IX, which has just been a workhorse. Been fantastic. And what else have I been using lately? I mean, I have my Ender 5 Pluses, which I still love, which I don't know. It's hard to recommend those in this day and age. There's so many better machines out there. So those are hard to recommend as a new printer unless you just want a printer that's large and you can mod. It's still a great modding printer, so if that's something that you're into, like I want to get something and I want to be able to mess with it, then the Ender 5 Plus is still a good choice. But just some options out there. Obviously, everybody loves their Bamboo. I don't have one, so I can't recommend a Bamboo. Have a huge soft spot for my Ender 5 Plus, plus my P1S has stolen my heart. See, everyone loves their Bamboos. I don't have one. They never offered me one, and with the number of printers I have at my disposal, it's difficult for me to justify purchasing a Bamboo. I don't think it would really change my life. I have a lot of solid printers. All right, so that's in there. As you can see, I've got the posts here on the back, and that is all installed now. Got the antennas in there. They look like that they are still in there right. One of my antennas looks crooked, which I'm not real happy about. Like my whole, oh well, no one else will know but me. But this antenna over here looks crooked, and I'm not real happy about it. All right, so now I need to put these in. So I've got to figure out where the. So it looks like to me the connectors for this are on the top. So I've got to put one in here. So those go in like that. And I won't know if all this is hooked up right and whether I'm really happy with everything until it all gets connected, and then I take it back to my work area and actually hook it up. I don't have my computer and everything at this work desk at this point because I've been doing so much work on it lately. Alright, so now I have to very carefully turn these over. I'll mark them later for which is 1 and which is 2. These need to go in here like this. And then there's not a great way, but I do have to try to. Wonder if it would have been better if I would have put them. Yeah, I think it'd been better if I actually would have put them in the other slots. I'm actually going to swap these out. I'm going to put that one. And the reason I'm doing that is just cable management. It routes a lot cleaner the other way, so I'm going to swap this over. So it doesn't look as clean. Oh, you gotta flip it over. There's why it doesn't look as clean. Let's see if that helps. So now these two should be able to be tucked over here, and that's what I was going for there. So I think that's going to be a lot better. What I got some chat message here. I have a huge soft spot. Okay, I love my 5 Plus. The Percentage Plus is the only Creality printer I like now. My 2 Bamboos and rat rigs. Fantastic. Yep, Dave, a big proponent of the Ender 5 Plus until he found something he liked better. Which I don't blame him. You know, beauty of the hobby is there are plenty of machines out there, and you can do what suits you. That's what I recommend everyone do. Find the printer that you like. You know, find the printer that makes you happy, that works the way you want it to. And once you find that machine, then you can just print to your heart's content. That's my plan. That's why when people ask, what's the best printer? There's not really an answer. It's what's the best printer for you. These are not magnetic, and I can't even tell you how happy I am when I get non-magnetic screws. It's just a pain. I could have made that hole bigger. On your drone build, what kind of range are you looking to get out of it? Haven't really thought. That's a fantastic question, because it's not one that I've actually thought a lot about. Range has been the least of my concerns, given the fact that I don't really. I've got it up and running. I will tell you, if you've watched that, video, I'm a lot further along. That was just the first video. It took me a long time to get it out. So I'm a lot further along. I do have a flight computer running, but like as far as like how far do I want to be able to fly, until I get like FPV on it, I definitely don't have a real long range requirement. So I think that's a great question. If you have any suggestions about range or like what I should be using as a noob in the hobby, I am more than happy to hear what your suggestions are in terms of what technologies I should be using. If there's particular controllers I should be using, let me know. I like advice from people that are more experienced than I am. I am not the expert at everything, and that was the whole point of that video. And you're right, Dave. There's a lot going on in the 3D printing space right now. A lot going on, a lot of changes. I think Bamboo is going to continue to accelerate everyone else. They're going to push other companies to be better, which is fantastic for the industry as a whole. So we'll see what comes out of that. I think I finally got my chat to stay up here on the screen. So if you want to talk to me, now's the time. Again, these screws barely fit these holes after I've pulled them out a little bit, but they do fit. It just requires a little bit more effort. I have knowledge in it, but it was curious. Might need to get to go to stuff. Easy idea. Thanks, Patrick. I'd love to head down to Stillfire. Stillfire, if you don't know, Stillfire is a local brewery here near where I live. And honestly, I haven't made a trip over there and sat down and had a drink. I know where it's at. It's in the Swanee area. I do love me some IPA. How long have you been building or programming stuff? Like, what kind of experience do you have, and how did you start? Okay. Story time, everybody. So as far as programming, I got my start programming with BASIC on a old Commodore 64. That's how I got started. I was about somewhere around 8 or 10 years old. My cousin was getting rid of a Commodore 64. I snapped it up. Couldn't do much with it except a few cartridge games it came with, so I learned basic programming and I was hooked. The fact that I could take a computer, which I just thought was an awesome piece of technology, and tell it to do something and it would do it. If you're familiar with BASIC, you know, it's like 10 print kris, 20 go to 10, and it would just print a whole screen of my name. That was just fantastic. It was mesmerizing to me, and I just loved it. So that was how we got started, or how I got started on programming. Since then, my background has been I've done CAD work. My mom would bring home computers, and so in high school I got into Linux because Linux was free and you could get a hold of it. And so I would get into. I started playing with Linux on old computers, and that's how we got started on everything. And I learned C programming in high school. Took that to college. My major was computer science. Although, you know, in no sense do I say people need computer science these days to get into programming. I'm just kind of going through my threads here because I need to put this lid on after I test this. But and I'm a computer science background. I am an embedded software developer now, and so I code C pretty much full-time as my full-time job. I've been doing it for almost 20 years, or about 20 years, at least professionally, since I graduated college. So that's how I got started. These days, it's a lot easier to get started. You can go buy a Getting Started with Arduino kit that you can either learn Python or C with. And that's what I recommend people doing, going on Amazon or whatever your local way to order stuff is, and get started on one of these beginning programming kits with Arduino. That's the best way to get going. Having issues with the Sonic pad on my 5 Plus Auto Probe is off build plate. I have not hooked up my Sonic pad yet. I do have one. I might get to it next month. But I haven't gotten to it. Let me go ahead. What's going on here? Showing my other camera what I'm doing. So that is the new one installed. Here is the original one. Those are the two. This is the original. This is the new one. Again, this one was originally printed in carbon fiber PLA. This one is carbon fiber nylon. You can see I did all of the posts in this one as brass posts for rigidity and strength. Now I don't have to worry about it. This thing should last forever. I'm now going to come in here, carefully turn that over, and I use. So this thing gets really, really hot, and I'm wearing it against my body, and you'll see it here on this one that I actually use this tape to actually keep it off of my chest and provide some insulation. So I've got this. It's actually insulation tape. This is used for like HVAC work, and I use it on the back just to protect myself from the heat that this computer can generate when it gets going. I'm about to put this over here rather than on top of it like I did the last one, so I'm going to tighten these up now just to make sure I don't need to do that again. Do I have firmware for the 5 Plus with the silent board? Need to reflash firmware on it, seeing how Sonic Pad isn't working for me. Yeah, I mean, I've got that. I've got multiple videos on how to flash it. There is some issues that you need to be aware of, where, like, if you have the wrong screen firmware and you put my firmware on there, that it will actually I can't get it out of Chinese mode, and I haven't updated a video to show how to fix that yet. But I've got multiple videos on it, and so all I can tell you right now, just because I don't have time to sit here and show you the exact videos and everything like I normally would do in my kind of helper videos. So for now, I will just direct you to the channel and see if you can find those. If not, I would guess Creality still has their firmware available on their website. I don't have any reason that they wouldn't. So I'm going to do what I did on that last one. I'm going to create a little bit of padding to shield me from the heat. So yeah, check my old videos. They're on a Google Drive, and you can get to everything you need to get to. Kind of round this off like I did last time. This doesn't have to be perfect. No one sees it. I do try to make it look as good as possible. So that'll go on one. There'll be a second one. Let me see if they line up a little bit. Okay, it's good enough. And I'm going to go ahead and get these over here. Just again, a little bit of heat shielding. Don't have to be lined up perfectly, but I do have the screws under here to kind of guide me. And that'll just go right there to provide some heat padding, some insulation. Do the same thing on the other side. That gap in the middle actually is just a nice little air gap. It doesn't matter. I don't need to fill it in. That's pretty good. There we go. Should be pretty good. Now this is all ready to test. So anyway, I've been streaming for about 45 minutes right now. I appreciate everyone dropping in. I need to now go take this back to the other workbench, my kitchen table. See if it boots up, see if I've got Wi-Fi signal working correctly off these Wi-Fi antennas that I installed. Make sure that this actually gets proper camera signals to the helmet. And if I get some time, I will come back this evening possibly with some Friday, Jarvis, if you're not familiar, some AI, and show you how that's working. But I appreciate everyone hanging out with me. This was just a test stream. And I just wanted to see how well it worked from my phone running on my bench. So thanks everyone. I wish I could learn program, but I have a disability which causes my short-term memory to not work like it should. Interesting. I would challenge you to try using something like OpenAI, ChatGPT, to help you program. If you can learn skills still, let me talk to you directly. Let's fix this. There we go. Now that I'm wrapping up here. So I would challenge you, if you can learn skills, what I would recommend that you do is actually start playing with using ChatGPT as a way to bridge that gap. If you can learn the skill of programming, understand the logic of programming, ChatGPT still isn't really there in terms of, like, can it do everything for you? No. But it's pretty good at giving you hints, at giving you pieces of code. Show me how to do this. Can you explain this to me? When it doesn't work, hey, I'm having this problem. Maybe it can help bridge that gap in your coding. I would love to see you get past your disability. I understand that that's a big run. I've known people with that problem. So if you're having that problem, give it a shot. See if it can help bridge the gap. Then maybe you can convert some of that into skill-based rather than memory-based, and then maybe continue to use that as a tool. Again, thanks everybody for joining me. Thanks all of you that have hung out for a little bit with me. It's nice to sit here and do this with someone rather than just talking to myself. And so that ChatGPT does not have the knowledge. Yeah, but programming hasn't changed much since 2021. So go check it out. Programming hasn't changed much since 2021. So if you just need to learn how to program, that hasn't changed. You can learn C, you can learn Python. Not much of that has really advanced much, at least as far as the programming, the languages themselves are concerned. So don't worry about that. Go there, learn as you reach problems. And then if ChatGPT doesn't have the answer, just go to Google. Just Google like you normally would. Say, I'm having this problem. Usually Stack Overflow or something will have your answer. So Johnny, I hope that helps you. Thank you everyone that stopped by. This was a lot of fun. I might do this again because this worked really well. It provides a bridge for me to talk to you guys without without having to plan something ahead of time, because I never know when I'm going to get a few minutes to just sit down, work, and hang out with you guys. So thanks again. Take care, and I will see you next time. Everybody stay safe out there.